What is going on, everybody? It is Tech Geo, and today we're going to be talking about how to make six figures in tech sales with zero experience, how I did it, and how you can do it too. Let's get right into it. All right, now what is tech sales? You might have come across tech sales as you're going throughout your tech journey, maybe looking up on YouTube videos, doing your research. You might have been Googling it and came across it. Might have been on TikTok and scrolled past a video when someone was talking about tech sales. And so I want to break down to you what tech sales is. And so I've been in this industry for over 12 months now, and pretty much what tech sales is, you're selling technology. Pretty simple and pretty straightforward. And so your goal is literally going to be a B2B transaction. So you're selling your software to another company to help fix whatever problem, pain points that they're having. And so you're just using your solution to solve those problems. So that's what tech sales is at a high level. And now we're going to jump right into the path of tech sales. All right, so now that you know what tech sales is at a very high level, it's selling technology. What does the career path of the tech sales industry look like? I'll share a little bit about my current career path, but just the overall career path that you can go in. There's really two routes that you can go into tech sales. There is an individual contributor, or there's the leadership route. So those are the two paths you can go on. And so typically when you get started in tech sales, you start out as an SDR, a sales development representative. And this is a zero experience, zero college. Anyone can do a tech sales SDR role. And what an SDR does is they book qualified meetings for their account executive to close the deal and win more business for the company. So that's what an SDR does. Now, how does the SDR do that? There's gonna be a lot of cold calling involved. So I've never cold called before, but when I was an SDR, I was doing 50 to 80 dials a day, talking to people I've never met, saying, hey, John, this is Geo calling from X company. Do you have 30 seconds? And literally pitching the solution on the phone. And actually started to enjoy it. At first, I was a little shy, a little hesitant, because just nervous. Like, I would call people, they're probably taking their kids to school, they might be working, and so it's literally an unexpected cold call. And that's why they call it cold, because they don't know who you are, what you sell, or what you do. But one, you can either do it via cold call, you can also do it via cold emailing. And so you can email your prospect and say, hi, John, this is, I see you're at this company, I noticed this is what your company does. A lot of people that I talk to at people in this role or in this company or this industry have this pain point. You'd put your value prop or whatever, pitch your solution via email, and book meetings via email as well. And then there's also just social outreach via LinkedIn. And so being in tech sales, you're gonna leverage LinkedIn a lot. And just any tech job or tech career, you should have a LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is the most powerful platform to elevate your career at a very fast pace. Just networking, you're gonna be using LinkedIn, you're gonna be using cold emailing, and then you're also gonna be doing cold calling. So that's what the SDR role is. Now, like I said, there's two routes that you can go into, is the individual contributor or the leadership route. So me personally, I started out as an SDR. From the SDR role, I moved into an account executive role. So those are the people who close new deals. Those are the people who take the meetings. Those are the people who have the conversations to close business and win more revenue for the company. So that's the route I chose. And now I could dive deeper into why I chose that route. But the other way you can go is to an SDR manager route. So if you're an SDR, you eventually become really good at the SDR role, and then you can start managing under more SDRs under you. And then from an SDR manager, you can go to a director of business development, and then all the way up to the VP of sales or a CRO, where you're managing the entire sales team. Those are the two routes that you can go into in the career path of tech sales. All right, now how much can you make in tech sales? This is why I created this video, to tell you about just how lucrative tech sales is. And I think this honestly applies to all sales jobs. It's very high risk, very high reward. And what I mean by high risk is that it's a performance-based role. And so if you're underperforming in sales, they'll probably let you go. Some companies, they'll do their best to train you. They'll coach you, they'll give you training. So it's not like if you just mess up once. Like, I've messed up plenty of times in my career, just learning and developing. That's part of the game, but you don't just get cut out right away. So it's a high risk, high reward, but the potential that you can make in tech sales is extremely lucrative. So just starting out as an SDR, you can expect to make $60,000 to $90,000 in an OTE. Now, what is OTE? That means on target earnings. And so what that is, it's your base pay plus commission equals your OTE. So I'll give you an example. Let's say your base salary is $50K per year. You will have a variable, which is like the meetings that you book, qualified meetings. Your commission rate will be 25K. And so 50 plus 25 equals 75K OTE as an SDR starting out. And so typically it takes about, I would say, let's just call it 12 to 18 months where you can start having the possibility to move into an AE role. Now, when you start out as an account executive, you can expect to make anywhere from, I would say, 120 to 200K in an OTE, depending on what you're selling. If you are in a startup, but on average, it might be like 60 to 80K base plus, let's say, 60 to 80K in commission. So you can make anywhere from 120 to 150 or 160, but as an AE, there's no cap on how much money you can make, and that's why it's extremely lucrative. So let's say you hit your quota, but you exceed it 150%. So 100% hits your quota if you do 150%. I mean, that can bump you up past that OTE. And so that's why it's extremely lucrative, because one, your base salary is probably going to go up every year if you're just performing right, you're moving up into the next role. But two, it's uncapped commission. So if you outperform and you're just putting in a lot of work and you're getting really good at dialing in, getting really good in skill set, constantly reinvesting into yourself and just getting better day after day, I mean, you can exceed quota, and that's totally normal. You can also underachieve and not hit quota and make less than the OT. So there's both a flip side and a positive and negative to it. But as long as you're doing your job, you should definitely hit your OT if it's a reasonable target. So that's just how much you can make in tech sales. I mean, I've heard of people a 7-figure W2. Those people are closing 100K, $1 million, multi-million dollar deal sizes. And how you get paid as an AE, it's literally a percentage of whatever deal you close. So anywhere from, let's say, 10% is average, but let's just say you're like 10 to 15%. So if you close a $1 million deal at a 15% commission, like that's 150K from one deal. And some people might close like 2 to 3, maybe 4 of those deals a year, depending on how long the deal cycles are. But if you're like an SMB AE, your deal cycles are probably a lot faster. And so you might be doing like 10K, 20K deals at 10%. And so that's 1,000 to 2,000 per deal close. So it really depends on how big the deal sizes are, what's your percentage on the commission. That all plays a big factor into how much you make, but the amount you can make is pretty limitless. Now, how long is it going to take for you to make 6 figures in tech sales with no experience? Me personally, I started out as an SDR, broke into an SDR role within 30 days of taking a bootcamp called Course Careers, which I have it linked down in the description. It's a tech sales bootcamp where you can literally take it at self-paced, learn all the skill sets, how to reach out, how to get interviews, and everything you need from A to Z on landing your first SDR role. That's what I did. I've documented it on my channel, but it's called Course Careers, so you guys can check it out if you would like. But I broke into tech sales as an SDR in 30 days, and then 8 months later, or I should say 7 months later, I got into an AE role, and that AE role I have a potential or an on-target earnings over 6 figures. And so, I mean, it took me 8 months to land that AE role, but I would say on average, you're probably looking maybe 12 to 18 months of, starting an SDR and promoting to an AE to where you have that potential to make 6 figures. And now you can actually also make 6 figures out the gate as an SDR. I think that's becoming more of a possibility every single year that passes. So there's even SDRs that have that 90K, 100K OTE as an SDR, and so you can get very close. And even if you have like an 80K OT, you can actually outperform and still hit 6 figures your first year if you just really put in that work and build a skill set. So I mean, you can do it starting out, but typically it would come from that AE role or that SDR manager role where you have that potential to make 6 figures in tech sales with 0 experience. All right, now how do you get started in tech sales? You really want to get into it. You've been watching videos like this YouTube video you're watching right now. You've been interested in it, but you don't really know where to start. So as I mentioned earlier, I took a boot camp called Course Careers. It's a tech sales boot camp where it's completely self-paced. If you're working full-time, you can do it part-time. If you're not working at the moment, you can do it full-time. I completed Course Careers personally in 7 days and then landed my SDR role in 30 days. So you can go ahead and check out that Course Careers boot camp if you're interested. If you use my link, you also save $50 off, and it supports the channel as well. So make sure to use the link if you do decide to join Course Careers. And if you do join Course Careers, make sure to send me a message down below so I can personally coach you and just give you my advice and help you out as much as I can. In addition, I'm actually going to be creating my own private exclusive tech sales community, and I have already launched my waiting list. So go ahead and click the first link in the description, and we're going to be doing live coaching calls. Exclusive unreleased videos will be in there as well, and we're just going to be building a community of like-minded people all trying to level up in tech sales. So that's going to be it pretty much for this video. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.